goulash is reportedly a peasant type dish, which is at least half onion and half meat. So that's part of what gives it the flavor that it has.
Goulash was originally made by shepherds. They would cook onions and beef together a long time until it was essentially dehydrated, and then they could carry this now rather light bundle of food out into the fields with them and rehydrate it with some water when they were hungry.
Hungarian goulash is not stew or a stew, however it has no potatoes or rutabagas or carrots or anything like this in there. Stew usually comes with all manner of vegetable, but Hungarian goulash is only beef and onions, and my addition is red peppers and green peppers. And so let's get to it. It belongs on a German menu. Almost every German menu in the classified bürgerliches menu as Hungarian goulash on it.
But it was not on the very earliest menu that you had.
And that's probably because I didn't think of it. We have about the recipe says calls for 3 pounds of beef stew meat or beef cubes, but this is 5 pounds, so it's a little bigger batch. But it's beef cubes, green red peppers, onions are what makes the stew. Then we need some fat or oil, and we need some salt, cayenne pepper and paprika. The cayenne pepper enhances the sharpness of the paprika. This is too mild, so if you have more powerful paprika, omit the cayenne pepper. Garlic, diced garlic, bay leaves, and tomatoes and tomato paste, and red wine vinegar to
Red wine,
deglaze.
right?
Yeah, red wine. Excuse me, not vinegar.
Yeah.
Red wine to deglaze the pan. Start by adding either oil or in this case pork fat to the pan, and heat the pan till it is at the smoke point. You want it nice and hot before we add the meat. We dump the meat in the pan and brown the various pieces. We add the meat to the pan and we don't touch it or disturb it for 2 or 3 or 4 minutes till one side is nice and brown. And then we scramble the meat and hopefully get the other side brown too. So the whole thing is probably going to be 7 to 8 minutes. Stage you will take the meat out of the pan normally and replace and saute the vegetables separately, and then add the meat when the vegetable is half done. But we don't do that. We just add the vegetable, put the lid on the stew and braise it. It's easier, faster, cheaper, and to my mind just as good. So we are now adding the onions and the garlic and the spices. That's as many onions as there is meat, about 5 pounds of it. Paprika. And that is about 2 ounces worth, or 2 big tablespoons full of it. Some cayenne pepper, bay leaves, and garlic, a liberal amount of garlic. I would think this is about half a cupful. This is 5 pounds of stew, not 3 pounds of stew. No. So we need to add some salt and pepper. And we let this go for 3-4 minutes, and then we add the red wine and see what that looks like. We have the onions in there. The only thing missing is the red and green peppers, and they go in last because we don't want them to turn to total mush. We want them to be part of the eating experience. The onions, on the other hand, disappear totally. They become part of the gravy and you won't find them. And the garlic will have turned into a different spice from what you think garlic is. Okay. We are now at the point where we add the red wine. That should be about 2 cups worth. Two cups worth is a half a pound. For this amount of stew, we will add about 4 cups of tomato dices. There is recipes that call for tomato paste, but we use diced tomato and reduce it. Tomatoes to 5 pounds of beef, and the tomatoes went in with the juice. And we will reduce all of that a little bit, and the tomatoes will more or less disappear. So, goulash meat is generally cooked from cow meat or older animals. But we have to make sure that our customers are happy, so we start out with either choice or prime beef to hedge our bets that everybody is happy. So we are about ready to add the peppers to that stew, and peppers, red and green peppers, about 4 for this amount, 4 green peppers and 4 red peppers, medium size. But it isn't so now we have that. Okay, and we are almost done. We should try that a little bit. We have the stew almost all together, except that we want to add some brown gravy or beef stock or just plain water in order to get the consistency of the finished product right. We don't want it too thin like modified soup, and we don't want it too thick, like too thick a paste. So we will add some, in my case, some brown base gravy. But first we have to try it. See whether it needs anything. Now the stew is going in the right direction, so we can just keep going. You want to try some? See, now it's right. Right? And while Erich was looking, I dumped the gravy into the stew. This should cook at about 350 degrees here. And it will get a little brown on top, and then we put a lid on it.
How long?
So, probably 45 minutes to an hour, at least in this particular case. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like after 40 minutes of cooking. 40 minutes have passed, and it's time to look at the goulash, and it looks good. And so we should try it and see what stage it is in. So, little gravy, piece of meat. It would be a miracle if it was done, because it would take about 45 minutes to an hour to get done. And it has only been 40 minutes. So, sure enough, we need another 20 minutes. Everything is going in the right direction. We should just leave it alone and give it a little more time to cook. Looks good, and it's supposed to be done. Let's check that. Everything that is right, it's done. You get to try it. Yeah, next slide, stop. To make it interesting.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.